What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today we'll be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Ethereum against the US dollar on the Coinbase exchange. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So Ethereum, it's looking pretty bullish, and I'll go over the reasons why. So the market did not do anything random. It definitely had a flash crash, but that was not random in terms of magnitude, and I'll go over the reasons why. So from all-time high, I think this is all-time high, or this peak right here, back in August, I think that was all-time high. Let me zoom out. Near the all-time highs, or if it was, it's very close. Anyway, from this peak down, that's one leg down. Okay, we clone that arrow, we drag it to the next swing, and you can see that that's basically where price bounced from. So right near the arrow, we had one leg down, price pulled back from the highs, it made a second leg down, and that's exactly where price bounced, right near this arrow. It wasn't a perfect measure move target, but it was damn near very close. You can see that it bounced right there. And then what happened? Price moved up higher. When it moved up higher, we formed a quadruple top. As you can see here, price made resistance here, a double top, a triple top, and a quadruple top. So with two legs down and then price going up and still not able to make a new high and break out, there's a good chance that it was going to try again to move down lower in a form of a larger leg. So the prior two legs became one large leg. So all these two became a large leg. On a higher time frame, it will look like one drop instead of these two drops. Instead of these two arrows, you would see one drop. As you can see on a higher time frame, let's go to the weekly chart, you'll see like a single drop. Or even higher, you'll see a single drop. So basically, we just dropped in a bigger way on the macro scale. Anyway, since we made a failure to break out on that quadruple test, then we can clone that arrow, and right at the tip of those arrows is exactly where we bounce. So this was predictable. So you see how, we made two legs down, and then there was this bullish trend line in play. Basically, the bullish trend line just represents the strength of the trend. So the strength of the trend was intact up until the top side of that range. So let me go and draw this better. So basically, you would see something like this, right? You don't know what's going to happen on the right side of the chart. We have two small legs down that turned into one big one now because we got a quadruple top. We had a big red candle right here on October 7th, and it started breaking that bullish trend line. So with that break of the bullish trend line, and price unable to make a new high after a quadruple test, there was a good chance it was going to do another drop down lower. And look what happened. A few days later, we dropped down lower right to that measure move target. This is the same arrow using the two prior legs. It's the same size, right? And what do you get? If I put a horizontal line right at the tip of the arrow, that's exactly where price bounced. So not a coincidence at all that we had just two macro legs back. That's typical in a trend, right? You'll have two small legs, but if the market is really trying to correct, we might see two macro legs. So we saw two macro legs down. So that just means that, this correction looks to be complete as of right now. Instead of breaking out here and moving up higher, we just had to do a bigger correction, trap a bunch of shorts into the trade, trap a bunch of longs out of the trade, and then start moving up higher. So that's why it looks really bullish, especially when you saw a huge bounce off the lows from that measure move target. We're up about 17%, almost back to where we started. So basically that was just a, quick crash down, make a two complete large legs, and now we're seeing strong buying. Now this one looks more likely to break out, especially after this huge drop. It looks like this time we're not going to see a quadruple top. We might see a breakout of the $4,700 level, $4,800 level to make a new high. And if you combine that with a bullish trend line as well, that even adds more bullish signs to the chart. So you see this bullish trend line. Well, it's a ray technically, but I use the swing lows. So you have this trend line right here off the swing lows. We got the third, fourth touch right here. Or if you're looking at it on the macro scale, we got one touch here, two touch here. Boom, what do you know? We hit that trend line right at the measure move target after a failed breakout. Strong buying. I mean, this is just, gravy, for higher prices, right? If you look at a pattern, this is a very bullish pattern. We have two massive legs down, strong buying after the two legs down. We had a failed breakout. Price showed a breakout of the lows, failed, immediate reversal. We're bouncing off the bullish trend line on the macro, so it means that we're still ascending higher. And it looks like it's going to be coming back up to the prior highs and probably even exceed it. So Ethereum, as of right now, it looks pretty bullish, right? It's not a 100% guarantee, but it puts a slight tilt in odds towards the upside. Now let's take a look at the weekly chart. So this is also something I did not cover in the daily chart. This horizontal level of 39.96, about $4,000. At $4,000, there was a triple top previously in history. We saw resistance here and here and here. On the third test, price traded down all the way to sub 1,500, right? So we had a triple top previously, and price traded down a good amount, and then we reversed. We broke through that level not too long ago, right over here in August, early August, and now we have a double test of it, right? We had two massive legs down. Bears tried 2 times to break below it. Actually, 2 times. 2 smaller times it failed and went up higher, and then 2 big times it failed. 1 here, 2 in that flash crash, and that flash crash, let me go and move all the drawings just real quick. You can see that price, let me hide them. You can see that price, if you pretend there's a horizontal level across here, you can see that we did not close below that $4,000 level. You see the candles are above it. So this is basically a double test of the prior breakout zone, which is a very good sign. So Ethereum looking pretty bullish. And where is it headed? Well, you can look for a measure move target up. All this would be one massive leg up right here, something like that. And this is the start of the second leg. And it's targeting right around 5,600, 5,700. So what does this all mean? It means that Ethereum does look pretty bullish in the short term and long term. If we can break that 4,000, $4,800 level again, which I think it will this time. And this means that Bitcoin is most likely bullish as well, right? So I looked at the other cryptos, and a lot of them kind of crash near support, and they're already recovering pretty well. So that means that, we just had a bigger correction play out, and it looks like it's ready to move up higher. Nothing's guaranteed in this world, especially in this market, but as right now, the chart is looking bullish. So that's all I have for Ethereum on the daily and weekly charts. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.